I trained. I trained for the fight, but I definitely I had this thing where I just felt invincible, and I did a lot of wild stuff leading up to the fight. I definitely didn't give it my all.
As far as partying and not sleeping right,
mainly
and
partying,
drinking,
drinking, staying up all night.
Yeah. I mean, when you win a fight like that, where you weren't 100%, does that sort of almost reinforce this idea that you could do anything you want, and that, man, imagine if I trained next time, if it's someone big, I'll train. Like,
So I have this. I'm going to share something with. I'm not sure if I've ever shared this with anyone else before, but I had this crazy thing that I would do, where I would party 1 week before every fight, and I did it throughout my whole career, and this was stupid, but it was this mental crutch that I had. I literally would 1 week before every fight, I would go out and I would get blacked out wasted, and my logic was, if this guy were to beat me somehow, I can look myself in the mirror and say that, well, I lost because I got hammered the week before the fight. So
it was a built-in safety net.
It was a safety net. Yeah, exactly. So I did it my whole career. I would go out and get hammered 1 week before every fight.
Do you surround yourself with too many people that like to party?
I used to.
You used to?
I used to, for sure. Yeah, I used to have a lot of wild friends.
And when did you stop hanging out with these people? For the car accident?
Or
like yesterday?
No, after the car accident. When I decided that I was going to be completely sober, I let loose a lot of friends, and it was crazy because my phone used to blow up on Friday nights because everybody knew that John was going to be buying everything that people needed. Like, like I literally, I was the guy who went to the bar and I would just buy like 40 shots of Patron.
Right.
And I'm just like, and literally, if you're standing around me, you're getting a shot of Patron. I'm just passing them out, right? And next thing you know, people who don't even know each other, they're all hugging. And I'm really good at merging people together and having strangers and having a great time. And that was my thing, like walking to a bar where I know 5 people, and now I have 20 new homies, and like everybody's just hanging out. And so when you're like that, Friday nights come around 8 o'clock, everybody's like, yo, where are you going to be tonight?
Right.
If I'm out, there's going to be more people around. You're going to have a way better time. Your chances of getting laid is going up because you're hanging out with me. Like, it's just the truth, you know? So I just had a bunch of people around me. But since I became sober, a lot of those phone calls, they slowly stopped. They slowly stopped, and so now I've been sober for almost 16 months, and now I have the best times. I have the best times. I remember everything that happens. My friends don't try to ever encourage me to drink or anything, and they know I'm not going to, right? And I just have the best times. I have the best times, and
How were you able to make that transition? Did you follow any program?
I stopped being. No, I didn't. I just stopped.
Nothing.
I stopped answering my phone call for a lot of people, and I just kind of went into hiding for a while. I just stayed away from the scene until I felt like I was strong enough to just not do it, and it helped. It helped a lot. And
now, do you ever go to bars now and order a water or anything like that? Can you do that?
Yeah, I go out. And I'll drink Red Bull. Whenever I'm in a situation where a lot of people are drinking. Sometimes I feel like I'm just kind of chilling and like a little bit too chilled out. So like in order to like keep up with a bunch of drunk people who are talking,
you drink Red Bull.
I'll drink a Red Bull. Yeah. And
it's funny can't drink too many of those though, man. That's bad for you.
Yeah, it's terrible for you. But I mean, it's way better than just getting turned up.
Right.
So it's funny because I've developed this this way of just having so much fun completely sober, where a lot of times when I'm leaving a place, someone will be like, hey, how are you getting home? I'm like,
driving, dude.
I don't drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great. I really do appreciate my sobriety. I love it, Joe.
Now you were saying you were having a problem with pot too.
Yeah, dude. I've been a stoner since high school. Yeah.
Is that like stopping that? Was that as easy as stopping drinking, or is it? What's more difficult?
It was it was. I think stopping pot was really tough because I literally didn't associate with too many people who didn't smoke. That's the way I kind of like a lot of people on my own team. I didn't hang out with them because I was kind of one of the hardest working guys on the team, but a little bit of a bad boy, and none of my teammates were really.
A bad boy meaning you smoke pot?
Just meaning I was just always down for a good time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just kind of, a lot of my friends were people who weren't martial arts, had anything to do with martial arts, and I would always kind of associate with just party people who like to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized once I quit smoking that I really didn't know too many people who didn't smoke. So I had to kind of start hanging out with people who didn't smoke, which I kind of found, I thought was just like,
People are boring.
You said it, Joe.
They don't talk about cool shit.
Yeah.
They don't like to stare up at space.
Yeah.
They don't want to go to the mountains and meditate in fucking cross-legged position.
Yeah. I had to find people who were just straight, who were always just straight. And I had to find different activities too.
Right.
And because when you're hanging out with people who don't party, they have certain ways that they have fun. And it's usually based around a lot more activities, I feel like. So I got into mountain biking and, jogging more and fitness, fitness and things like that. So now, fitness is like my drug. I really love being strong and being healthy. And like I do mountain biking and jiu-jitsu. I do a lot of jiu-jitsu these days. And so that's kind of like, that's, what I live for outside of family, of course.
Well, it sounds to me that you've done an audit of your life and you've
Totally.
looked at all the issues that you're dealing with and you've decided to not engage in them anymore. Do you write things down? Do you write like goals down or things that you demand of yourself? Do you ever do that?
I do. I have a list in my phone of different ways of thinking that I want to stand for.
Different things you're thankful for?
No, different ways of thinking that I.
Oh, different ways of thinking?
Yeah, that I want to stand for. Yeah, I do.
Like how so?
Just little things that help me be patient and to be loving and to appreciate. There's just, I had to look through my phone to kind of. I just write down a lot of reminders of what I stand for, and how I view things, and yeah, but I do write things down, yeah.
Now, when you look at the future and you see yourself from here on out, do you feel like from now on, for my time on this earth, no more drinking, no more pot, no more partying?
I do believe that I'll drink.
Really? Why is that?
Just because coming out of high school, I started drinking in high school, and I always felt like I needed alcohol to be cool or to put myself in certain situations, to conquer anxiety or whatever, to be a part of the crowd and to have fun and to
relax.
Yeah, I always thought I needed alcohol, and so I got to a point where I couldn't just go out and have a drink. I would always get to the point where everyone's getting crazy and things are getting wild, and I never really had the opportunity to develop a healthy relationship with it. It just went from high school to college when you party even more to being famous and being able to afford to buy everybody drinks every night, right?
Right.
So I just, my relationship with alcohol, it became unhealthy, and I never went through a period of time where I had a healthy, mature, responsible relationship with it. Now being sober for so long, I know that I can have one drink and feel a little bit of a buzz and catch an Uber home or whatnot. Or I know that I can go out and not have a drink at all and be the life of the party. I know that I can go out and not have a drink at all and approach someone and talk to someone with zero anxiety or feeling like, I can sit amongst a group of drunk people and know that I'm cool in my own skin just the way that I am. And that's something I never really had the opportunity to experience until now. And so now I feel like I'm in a mature enough place where if I wanted to have a drink in the future to celebrate a victory or something like that, or a glass of wine at home with my fiance, I know that I could do that now. So my relationship with it has completely changed. And I believe that I could drink in the future and not run into some of the wild, crashing a Bentley into a pole,
right?
Stuff like that that I was doing before.
Well, when you say you believe you could, it's interesting. I'm kind of talking out of my ass here because I've never had a problem with alcohol, but I know people that have, and the people that have had a problem with alcohol, the way they describe it, they're like, I can't do it. Like if I go back, I will go all the way.
Right.
It's like that. There's a thing that alcohol does to you where it says, or drugs, like just a little bit, man, just a little bit.
Right.
Come on, we're just gonna get a little bit, just a little bit, just a little shot, just a little beer. What's a beer? Everybody has a beer. Come on, man.
Right.
And then that's the siren song that leads you back to the rocks.
I feel like I had a problem with alcohol, but I never wanted to admit it. Like
when you say you had a problem, did you have a physical problem?
No.
Like when you got off the alcohol, did you have withdrawals? Did you feel weird?
No, I didn't feel weird. No,
so,
I wasn't waking up and drinking every day.
So it's a psychological thing.
Yeah, I was getting hammered on the weekends.
Right.
Right. I wasn't waking up and like I didn't need alcohol, but I always said to myself, I don't have a problem with alcohol. But then when you run into a pregnant woman, you have a problem with alcohol. The day that something affects you, the first DWI, it's a problem.
You weren't thinking straight.
Yeah, if it's causing you to lose.
Something was causing you to not think straight, and it was your actions and what you chose to take into your body, and then you just said, all right, I'm done with that.
Right.
But you feel like you could get back to that.
I feel like alcohol was never really I was never really addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to I just really enjoyed partying a lot, and I made a lot of bad decisions with alcohol. So now I really have had the time to see clearly where I went wrong with alcohol. And obviously, being a public figure and living in a small town, I never needed to be getting blacked out in public again anyways. It's just something that I look back and I hear stories. My boys are like, yo, you remember the time you did this and we were at that? I'm like, I can't believe I used to get blacked out in public. And living in this small town that I live in, it's like, so I've had a lot of times to evaluate. Marijuana actually is something that I don't think I want to go back to.
Really?
I don't think I want to go back to it.
You feel like you have an unhealthy relationship or had an unhealthy relationship with marijuana?
I was smoking way too much pot. I was smoking way too much pot. Literally breakfast, lunch, and dinner in between workouts. To study film, to do everything. I was just. And for me, there's some functional smokers who can wake up and they have 8 things they're going to do that day, and they do all 8 things. Like me, I would wake up and I had 8 things I needed to do that day, and I'd be like, I got 3 of them done today. Like, I'm good with that. Like, it slowed me down. It slowed me down. And now that I haven't been smoking, I just feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. I feel more on my game. I feel sharper.
I'm thinking of sparking up a joint right now.
Go ahead.
I'm like, what are you saying?
I know it's probably hard for you to hear. I know this probably.
Well, no, I mean, honestly,
it hits everybody differently.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. And that's important. And so does Red Bull, and so does alcohol, and so does everything else.
Yeah. It was all day, every day for me.
But do you think that you was it all day, every day because you were looking for an escape, or was it all day, every day because it had formed a habit and that's what you were used to doing?
It just became a way of life. It became a way of life for me.
When you're dealing with the amount of stress and just the amount of pressure is probably a better word of being, one of the great fighters of all time. I mean, you're without a doubt one of the best fighters that's ever fought in MMA, and there's so many eyes on you, and there's so much pressure, and there's so much money involved, and accolades, and all these different things. Hey John, we've got a business meeting for you. Hey John, this company wants to talk to you about doing this, and hey John, and there's just so much coming your way. Do you feel like it's almost like you had set yourself up in a position where you needed like some escape? You needed an escape valve, and that's what you had found through the drinking. That's what you had found through the pot. You had found these ways where you could not be John Jones for a while, where you could be this blacked out dude at a bar. All of a sudden you feel normal,
Right.
As normal as you can feel by being a 20-whatever-year-old millionaire fucking throwing shots around in Albuquerque. You'd found a valve to release you from some of the intense pressure of being one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely made you feel, for those moments,
Take your hands away from me so you
I'm sorry.
That's all right. So you're just blocking the microphone. It's
sorry about
sound
that.
weird.
I do agree that it for those moments made me kind of feel normal, yeah, for sure. Especially the bar thing. The bar thing, like going out and just having a good time. Like sometimes I forgot that I was a celebrity and that there was a lot of eyes on me. But for those moments, I felt like I think that was one of my biggest problems. I felt as if I was amongst. I didn't really hold myself to a higher standard because of who I was and what I did. And even to this day, I just feel like I'm one of the guys. Like,
right. Well, you are.
Yeah, I am one of the guys. Like, I don't really seek hanging out with other celebrities. All my friends are like, just normal, average Joe guys. And back when I used to party, I used to feel like that was me just not being John Bones Jones and just being one of the guys, like just doing the wild shit that everybody does. And then when something bad happens, it's like you're quickly reminded that millions of people around the world know exactly who you are. So it's like.
But it's a two-edged sword, too, because the people that get completely lost in the idea that they are this unique and special person, you eliminate yourself from all those other folks, and you separate yourself. And then it's extremely hard to relate.
Right.
And there's a lot of celebrities that go into a shell, and everywhere they go, they have security that takes them places, and they get delusional. Right. They have a completely distorted perception of how people interact with them because they don't just go hang with people.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely not me. I meet a lot of people, and people say, "Man, you don't act famous." And I'm just like, "Oh, I don't know." I really have a lot of pride in just doing just normal shit, like going to places that most people, even fighters in Albuquerque, don't go. Just being amongst the people, and I think a big part of me longed to just kind of just be not famous sometimes.
Now, my question, the reason why I asked you that is, how do you plan on handling that now? Because if you're not going to be drinking and you're not going to be smoking pot and you're going to, I mean, right now you're living life as just John Jones, the person, and happy with your family and happy with your life and just working out and having a good time doing jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. But eventually, everything's going to ramp back up again. Media obligations are going to ramp back up again. All these things are going to happen, and the pressure's going to be back on you again. What are you going to use as that escape valve then? Have you considered that?
No, I haven't really.
Oh,
no,
that's very important.
But I feel like I have matured in a way where I don't think it will affect me the way it used to. I've really had the opportunity to step away from it all, realize what I had and who I am, and what I was, and I just feel above
what you used to be.
Yeah, I feel above the way I used to let so much consume me. Like even right now, I don't know, it's just so hard to explain. I don't feel like I'm in the same, I don't feel like I look at things the same.
Well, I'm sure you don't. I mean, that's the thing about growth, and that's one of the things that when people are haters, what they try to do is lock you down to the old you.
Right.
They try to lock you down to you at your very worst. Yeah, man, you remember that shit in 2010?
Right.
When you said that fucked up thing when you were blacked out? That's you, bro. And you're like, I don't even remember that. I was blacked out.
Right.
Like, what did I say? You tell me. And someone can believe that they are their past.
Yeah, but we're not.
No, you're you.
Yeah.
You're you. And if you have not had fuck-ups, then you don't understand the consequences.